three kinds of appreciations. One is called ziyada muttasila. Basically, the item itself increases, and we said it doesn't apply to most of us. Like you have a cow, it gets fat. You have chicken, becomes fat. Things like that. Or you have trees, for example, who are now getting more branches. Doesn't apply to most of us, so we didn't spend much time on that. The second one is detached increase. So again, if you have a cow, it's giving milk. You have a chicken, it's giving eggs. The only most relevant thing to us is that if you have a property and now you put it on rent, then that rent that comes out of that property is liable for khums. And that's very obvious. The third one, which is where the bulk of discussion will be today, and it's the most relevant, is that if there is increase in only market value, so the price of the thing increases, it's not like the thing is becoming fat or something else is coming out of it. The price of the thing is increasing. So for example, I have a plot of land, now every year the price is increasing. I have gold, for example, in the bank. Gold, for example, is increasing. Shares, okay, I bought some shares. I don't know, I have 100 shares in Safaricom. Every year, the value is increasing. So here is where we have most of the discussion, and it's most relevant for us. Increase in market value. So when it comes to increase in market value and things that their prices increase, there are three types or three subdivisions that we will go through, and each have their own ruling. So the first thing is that if that mukhammas wealth, by mukhammas I mean like that item that khums is not wajib upon it, because either I bought it using wealth that khums was not wajib on, or I already paid khums on it. So basically we're saying the original amount, they were saying, okay, I don't have to pay khums on it. If that mukhammas wealth was intended for trade, so this is very important. So the first group is those items that I had obtained, and my intention when I was buying them or keeping them was for trade. Trade specifically means that I've bought this item now and I want to sell it at a higher price later on. So trade specifically means selling something at a higher price later on. So now, for example, stock in my business. Let's say I don't have a spare parts business. I have all this stock. Why am I buying this stock? The reason I'm buying this stock is because I want later on to sell it at a higher price. So these are items that I have acquired for the sake of trade, for selling at a higher price. Now, later on we'll have a full discussion about khums on business, and this will come up again over there. But stock is just one example of things that we buy and we keep for trade. Another example is, for example, shares. If somebody bought some shares in some company, and their intention was that I'm buying these shares so that tomorrow when the price goes up, I can sell it. This is somebody who's bought shares for the sake of trade, as opposed to someone who buys shares with intention of, no, it's not about selling it later on. I just want the dividends. So my intention of buying these shares of Safaricom, for example, is that every year, twice a year, for example, they give dividends. I'm after the dividends. So this doesn't apply to him. Or somebody says, I want to protect the value of my money. I have, for example, I don't know, 10,000 shillings lying around. At home, it'll get used. I want to protect the value of my money. I'll buy shares. Shares is now like a safekeeping option for my money. So again, also that person is not buying shares for trade. The first point over here is that if a person, that wealth that he has, if it's intended for trade and its value goes up, then in this case, khums is applicable on the increased value on the condition that it was possible for the person to sell it and receive the price, regardless of whether he actually ends up selling it or not, and regardless of how he received that wealth in the first place. This thing of regardless of how he received that wealth, you'll see later on, there's some discussion about, okay, did you buy this thing? Did you get it as a gift? So here, the point is that if this item is for trade, it doesn't matter how you got it. Whether you bought that stock, for example, or somebody gifted it to you, or you got it through inheritance, doesn't matter. The point is, this item that you have, which is mukhammas, okay, you don't have to pay khums on the actual item, for example. If at your khums date, the value of it has increased in the market, and you had bought it with the intention that when the price goes up, I want to sell it. So you had bought it for trade. So this person, that increase in the appreciation, that value increase is liable for khums. If your situation was such that throughout the year it was possible for you to sell it. Okay, you didn't end up selling it, but if you wanted to, you could have sold it. There was no like issues from like the government or market issues, whatever. Yeah, you might have got a less price. You are waiting, oh, let me wait more. The price goes up, I'll sell it at a higher price. Now, the point is that if you wanted, you could have sold it. There was nothing stopping you from selling it. You didn't sell it, and now the price has gone up. So in such a case, you have to pay the khums of the appreciation. So let me give like 2 examples over here, and then I'll bring much more examples towards the end, so this will become much more clear. So say for example, we have Mr. Alif. He owns $1,000 worth of shares in a specific company. So the idea is, let's say, either for example, when he went to buy the shares, that money that he was using, he had already paid khums on it. So he had paid his khums on it, so now the original shares, there is no khums on it, because you bought it using wealth that was mukhammas. Or he had fresh income, he bought shares, then his khums date came, and when your khums date comes, you have to check, okay, how much money do I have in the bank, for example, and even things like shares, okay, how much shares do I have, what's the value, okay, so he paid his khums on it. So now the original value of the shares is khums free. So he, in the end of the first year, he paid the khums of the value of his shares. Now, at the end of the second year, we said that, okay, if the value goes up, because his intention when he bought the shares was that I want to sell it at a higher price, not for dividends. I'm not getting it for dividends. I'm not getting it just to save my money. No, I want to sell it at a higher price. So at the end of the second year, this is now a slight twist. At the end of the second year, the value of the shares dropped to 800. So, okay, this year he doesn't have to pay. That original shares, though, there was no khums on it because he already paid on it. The second year, there's no appreciation. In fact, it's depreciation. So nothing in the second year. But at the end of the third year, it went back to 1,000. So now, does he have to pay khums or not? And the answer is that yes, he must pay khums on the $200 increase from that second year to the third year, even though it's gone back to its original price that it first was. Still, that year, this appreciation will count, and he will have to pay khums on the $200 at the end of the third year, assuming, of course, that the situation was such that if he wanted, he could have sold the shares. So technically, now this appreciation, he has to pay the khums on it. Another example, actually, this example might cause more confusion, so for now, I'll leave this example. So the point is that the first type of appreciation when it comes to price is that if that mukhammas item, meaning that item that khums is no longer wajib upon, was bought or was obtained for the sake of trade, meaning for the sake of, I want to sell it at a higher price. So another example is like, okay, I bought a house for investment. Let's say, for example, they were starting construction. At the start of construction, the house is cheaper, right? So I'm not going to stay in that house. It's for investment. So I bought a house for investment. They were building the house. It was at a cheaper price at the time. I paid the money. Either I used money that was khums free. I'd already paid khums on that money. So fine. Okay, now this house, it doesn't have khums on it. Or, no, I had fresh income. I bought the house. My khums date comes. So first of all, that first year, you pay value on the house because you're not staying in that house. It's not a need. It's an investment. So that first year comes. Okay, I have to pay khums on the value of that house. Now, my intention was what? That, okay, I'm buying this house for investment because I know right now it's cheaper when they're constructing. 3 years down the line, when the whole apartment block is finished, the price is going to go up. So here is somebody who has a mukhammas item, meaning this apartment that he's bought, and the reason why he bought it was for trade, meaning to sell it at a higher price. So now the second year, come his khums date, he will see, okay, what is the value of this apartment now? Let's say it's like half finished. He goes, he values it, it's like, okay, for example, he bought it at, let's say, 7 million, now they're saying it's at 8.5. Okay, so because your intention was to sell at a higher price, so now this appreciation of 1.5 million, you have to pay khums on it. As opposed to somebody whose intention was, no, I don't want to sell this house at a higher price later on. No, I just want to buy the house and get rent. So here, we will say, yeah, he wants to like invest. But the point is, this house is not for trade. Trade specifically means he wants to sell at a higher price. So that's the first group of items. Things that you buy for trade, appreciation happens, you pay khums on the appreciation, even though you've not yet sold the item. The second type now is, if, let's say, no, I didn't buy it for trade. One, I didn't buy it for trade. I didn't want to like sell it at a higher price. And two, it was gained through an exchange transaction. So when they say in fiqh exchange transaction, they mean that I didn't get it for free. It's not like somebody gifted it to me or inheritance. Exchange transaction, for the most part in our society, just means I bought it. So I gave money and I got that thing. So exchange transaction means, okay, I bought it. So here now I have something that I didn't want to trade it. I bought it, number one, for whatever reason, for my house usage, for example, for my children, whatever. Okay, they are using it. Now, because let's say, for example, that item, I'm using it at home, so obviously there's no khums on it. So say, for example, let's say somebody, I don't know, bought like a TV. It was, let's say, on offer, for example, crazy discount. He got it at cheap price, said, okay, I want to use it at home. Fine, he paid the money, even if it's fresh income, he brought the TV home. Now, the TV is being used. So, okay, there is no khums on the TV, it's your personal expense, you're watching halal things, fine. But now, say, for example, now the value of the TV goes up. There is some kind of appreciation. In this case, because he didn't buy it for trade, it was for personal usage. So these kind of things that you didn't buy for trade, but you bought it, this appreciation, there is no khums on it right now. Khums will only be wajib once I sell this TV, okay? And then the difference between my original price that I paid for and now the profit that I made when I sold the TV, that money that is the difference, if it lasts until my khums date and I don't spend it, then I would have to pay khums on it. So examples of what would constitute the above is, for example, I bought a house to stay in. Okay, I saved up money and I bought a house to stay in. So obviously I'm staying in the house, so now there's no khums on this house. So this house is like what you would say a mukhammas thing. I don't have to pay khums on the house. But now property appreciates. So every year the value of the house is going up. I didn't buy it for the sake of trade, so therefore I don't have to pay khums right now on the appreciation. But the day I decide to sell the house, then I would say, okay, I bought this house for 8 million. Today, after 20 years, for example, I am selling it at 20 million. So I made a profit of 12 million in this transaction. Now this 12 million I have, okay, if I don't use this 12 million till my khums date, then whatever remains on my khums date, I have to pay khums on that. So here the second thing is appreciation is liable for khums, but only after you sell the item and if that money remains till the end of your khums date. Other examples would be shares bought for the sake of dividends. So I bought shares in Safaricom, not with the intention that, okay, when the price goes up, I'll sell it. No, my intention was Safaricom gives like, I don't know, twice a year dividends. I want the dividends. So here, okay, I bought the shares, for example, let's say with Muhammad's wealth. Okay, there is no khums on the shares. Now every year, the share price is going up. That's fine, okay, no duty upon me. I don't have to pay khums on it. The day I sell, okay, I sold it at a higher price. Now I'll see the difference that I made. That difference is liable for khums if I don't use it until my khums date. Another example is, for example, a house bought to rent out or for future generations. Again, remember the first example of the house I gave, my intention was what? Oh, they're building this house, let me buy now so that when the house is finished, the price will go up, I'll sell it. There I had to pay the appreciation regardless of whether I sold on it. Here, my intention is what? Okay, I'm buying this house, I don't want to sell it at a higher price. No, I want to get rent, for example. Or no, I want to keep it for my children. In the future, they'll use it. So here again, now the appreciation is happening every year. The house is going up. Fine, no khums on the appreciation. The day I sell that house, if I sell it, then the difference in how much money I make, if that money lasts until my khums date, then I would have to pay khums on that. So that's the second type. The third type is that the Muhammad's wealth was not intended for trade and was not gained through an exchange transaction. Meaning I didn't buy that item. Rather, I received it either through inheritance or as a gift. So, if I were to simplify it over here and I can stop here, I'll say, okay, look, the third thing is I received an item either as inheritance or as a gift. My intention was not that I want to sell this at a higher price. It's not for trade. It's for whatever other purposes. I didn't buy it, so it's not from number two. Number two is if I buy it. Here, okay, here is the easiest. Here, appreciation happens, no khums on it. You sell the item, even the money you get, no khums on it. Very simple. So, for example, let's say, I don't know, somebody's father died, for example, and he left his son some property, for example. The son received the property. Now, this inheritance, which is the house, even if the price goes up every year, it's fine, no khums on it. Even if he sells it after 10 years and the price has gone up like 10 times, even then that money also, no khums on it. But when I say inheritance, I mean like he inherited the house. Not that he inherited money and then he went and bought a house with that money. No, because if he went and bought a house with that money, then that will be number 2, where you got the item through an exchange transaction. You went and bought it. So specifically over here, I mean that item that you received as inheritance. It can be a house, it can be even like, for example, people leave like gold biscuits, gold coins, jewelry, doesn't matter. I received it as inheritance or as a gift, for example. Okay, now this appreciation happens, doesn't matter, no khums on it. And even when I sell it, whatever price I sell it, no khums on that money as well. But then over here, there's now, that's the general ruling. There's now a bit of a technicality where it's going to become slightly complicated. So before I go into the complication, just to summarize what we said about appreciation. The first case is if I receive something and my intention was to keep it for trade, meaning to sell it at a higher price, so then this appreciation, if it happens on that, khums is wajib upon it, even if I don't sell the item. As long as it was possible for me to sell the appreciation on my khums date, I have to pay khums on it. The second one was if I buy something, okay, and then the thing appreciates, and my intention is not that, oh, I'm buying now so that I can sell it at a higher price later. No, it's like for my personal use or for whatever use. Point is, it's not for trade. This appreciation happens, there is no khums on it. Khums will only be wajib once I sell the item, if I sell the item, and then that difference that I make after selling it, if it lasts until my khums date, then khums will be wajib upon it. And the third one was that actually I received this item not through buying. I do not intend to trade with it, but I got it through, like for example, a gift or inheritance, then easiest. Aslan, there is no khums on appreciation. Whether I sell it, don't sell it, doesn't matter, there is no khums on it. So the complication comes in number 3 over here. That I said, okay, so the whole idea of this appreciation discussion is to say that, look, the original item, if it's muhammas, okay, meaning there's no khums on it, then what about the appreciation? But with the case of over here, inheritance or gift. So somebody, for example, gifts me, let's say, 5 gold coins. Now, we said khums is wajib upon gifts. If I don't use the gift by my khums date, so obviously I have to pay khums on it. Now, 5 gold coins, the only use of it is actually when I sell it and I go and use that money. Otherwise, it's not like I can wear these 5 gold coins. So now, the question comes that, okay, appreciation, you said, there is no khums on gifts, the appreciation of gifts. But what about this original amount? So here is where it becomes slightly more complicated. So there's 2 scenarios. Either khums was never applicable on this item to begin with. For example, I received inheritance or dowry, we said like mahar, okay, there is no khums on it. Here, it's the most clearest, okay, there is no khums on the appreciation either, even after selling it. So say, for example, somebody said for the mahar for their wife, I'll give you, I don't know, this much worth gold necklace. So he gives his wife a gold necklace as the mahar. So here, mahar, we said there's no khums on it. Even if every year the price of this gold necklace increases, no khums on it. Even if she sells it, no khums on that money. Fine. The problem is over here, the next one. Khums was originally applicable on the item, like a gift, for example. So main thing over here we're discussing is gifts. That yeah, actually, khums was applicable on it because I didn't use that gift. So the case of the 5 gold coins. Now, how do we calculate it? Here, when you come to actually paying the khums, I'll mention this again over there, that there's 2 ways I can pay khums. Sometimes, the item that I have, okay, khums is wajib upon this gift, okay, khums is 1/5, meaning 1/5 of this belongs to the owners of khums, sahmul sada, sahmul imam. So if it's something like 5 gold coins, I have 2 options. Okay, 5 gold coins, right? Khums is wajib. Okay, I'll take 1 gold coin, I'll go and pay my khums on it. Okay, here's literally, I had 5, my khums was this 1, actually I was supposed to be at this 1, so I actually go and give that item itself. I say here, this is my khums, this gold coin. Apply to anything, yeah? Jewelry, for example, I have 5 rings, for example, that I've not used, fresh. Okay, khums is wajib upon these 5 rings. Let's say they're equal value. Instead of paying the money, I can say, okay, this 1 ring, go to the marja's office, say, Bismillah, here's my khums, do what you want to do with this ring, sell it, give it, whatever. So that's one way. If I do that in this case, where I've received a gift of, let's say, 5 gold coins. So here, I said, okay, these 5 gold coins or 5 gold biscuits, I took 1 from that thing itself, I went and I paid the khums. So here is, khums was paid from the item itself. So this item that I received, I've paid khums directly from it. Here, this is the easiest. In this case, there is no khums on the appreciation, even after selling it at a higher price. Meaning these 4 coins that remain, it's like the case of inheritance. Okay, price goes up, no khums on it. I sell it at a later higher price, no khums on it. The problem comes when we don't pay khums from this item itself. We say, you know what, okay, I have these 5 gold coins. I don't want to give 1 gold coin as khums. I'll value this gold coin and I'll pay khums in cash. So here, khums was not paid from the item itself, but from other wealth, which is fine. Yeah, it's allowed. You can do it. In this case, what exactly is happening is that from these 5 coins, I've paid the khums from other money. These 5 gold bars or gold coins, for example, what's happening is that 4 of them will not be liable for khums when it appreciates at all. Like the previous example. These first 4, price goes as much as it wants. Even if I sell it, the money I get, no khums on it. The problem is this 5th one. Why? Because 4/5 of them, 4 out of 5 of these coins, the reason why I own them is because they have come through a non-exchange transaction. So I received them as a gift. This 5th one, yes, technically it was originally a gift. But what did I do? What happens when my khums date comes is automatically my khums date comes, 1 out of 5 of these coins doesn't belong to me anymore. It's the Sahmul Imam and Sahmul Sada, right? So this 1 coin was not really mine. It belonged to the Imam and the Sahmul Sada. So what I did was, when I am paying khums using money on the side, and I say, okay, I'll give you the value of this coin, what actually is happening is that technically I am exchanging this coin with, for example, the owners of khums. So let's say like I'm dealing with the Imam, for example. I'm telling the Imam, okay, let me keep this coin, and I'm instead I'm giving this money. So this coin was yours, you're giving me this coin, I'm giving you the money. So this 5th coin becomes number 2, where I received it now through an exchange transaction. So the point over here is now that these 4 coins were received through gift. So appreciation on gift, no khums. This 5th coin, technically appreciation happens on it, but it's not considered as something I got through a gift. No, I got it through appreciation of an item that I received through buying and selling. So in this case, what would happen is that now I have these 5 coins, I've paid my khums. Next year, my khums date comes, I'm seeing appreciation. Okay, these 4 coins, doesn't matter, no khums on it whatsoever. Even if I sell it, no khums. But this 5th one will become now under number 2. That okay, the price is going up, it's fine. No khums on it right now because I've not kept it for trading. When I sell it, the difference in appreciation, if it lasts till the end of my khums year, then I would pay khums on it. I know it's slightly confusing, and now I will give you more practical applications to put all these appreciations into consideration. Hopefully, then there will be no more confusions. Okay, applications. So, number 1, first example. Somebody bought shares worth 3,000 using Muhammad's wealth with the intention of selling it for a higher price later on. We said, okay, your intention when you bought the shares was for trade, meaning to sell it at a higher price later on. Okay, that appreciation, you pay the khums on it. You have to pay the khums on it, even if you actually don't sell the shares. The more discussion over here now is this. After 4 years, the value of the shares is now $5,000, and during these 4 years, he did not pay khums on the appreciation. What is his duty now? So the first one is easy. Okay, every year it's increasing. You bought it for trade, you pay every year. The question is, no, this person, he didn't know the ruling, or for whatever reason, he didn't pay. Now after 4 years, it is like, oh, okay, so I have to pay khums on appreciation every year. I didn't know. Now what do I do? It's been 4 years. It's continuously been going up the price. So what is his duty now? So first of all, this appreciation that has happened from 3,000 to 5,000, that $2,000 worth appreciation, first of all, that you pay right now immediately. Secondly, you are supposed to pay khums every year when the price was going up, which you didn't know. So you didn't know, but now you know. So now, primarily your rule is, okay, backtrack. See, okay, in the previous years, every year, how much did it go up? Pay the khums of that appreciation. Somebody says, oh, I don't know, it's confusing, accounts, I don't know, it's difficult. Answer for you, this person will have to go to the wakil of the marja and come to a settlement. Because basically it's a case of, he's like, yeah, I know, over these years, I owe him some amount. I don't know the amount. I can't figure out every year how much it went up, hypothetically. So in this case, like, okay, you go to the wakil and you say, okay, look, these 4 years, I didn't pay khums on the appreciation. Let's come up with something. And then what the wakil does is a separate discussion. Let's leave it for now. So the point is, okay, you didn't pay over these years. If you know how much you have to pay every year, then you pay. If you don't know how much, you go to the wakil for a settlement. But the amount that's appreciated till now, that for sure you have to pay, because his intention on the shares was he wants to sell at a higher price, not that I'm protecting my money or dividends. Second example, this person bought a piece of land for 100,000 with the intention of building a house on it and then selling it. So he bought a plot, I don't know, Karen. He said, okay, I've bought this plot. My intention is I want to build a house and then sell it. However, the value of the land went up to 200,000 at the end of the second year, whilst he had not yet built the house. Then in the third year, he built the house and he sold the house for 300,000. What are his khums duties? So the first year, okay, he bought that plot of land. Come his khums date, we'll ask him, okay, first of all, this plot of land, what money did you use to buy it? If it was like mukhammas, meaning he had already paid khums on that money, okay, fine, there is no khums on this piece of land. If it was fresh income, then yes, you'd have to pay, because khums is only exempt on money that you spend for your expenses. This is an investment, is buying a piece of land. So no, you pay khums on that piece of land. So in conclusion, at the end of the first year, that land, okay, let's say khums is paid on it. Either the money was originally khums paid, or he paid the khums on the land. Now the problem is, he said, okay, I want to build a house on it and then sell it. At the end of the second year, the value of the land has doubled, but he's not yet built his house. This person, technically, he doesn't have to pay khums on this appreciation. Why? When he bought the land, his intention was not that I want to sell this land at a higher price. He didn't buy the land for trade. No, he bought the land to build on it and sell the house. So at the end of the second year, even though the value of the land is increased, it's doubled from 100,000, now it's 200,000. Okay, this appreciation, there is no khums on it, because it was not intended for trade. Then come the third year, he built the house on it and he sold the house for 300,000. So now 300,000, he will pay khums on the difference between 300,000 and 100,000, meaning the appreciation, and then that money, so that 200,000, if it remains until his khums date, then he will pay khums on that. So now some more tinier examples, which is probably more relevant for ladies. Somebody bought some house furniture, like a refrigerator. So they moved into a new house, decided, let's buy fridge, freezer, oven, they bought this stuff. Then, obviously, it's your house expenses, you don't have to pay khums on it, it's fine. So they use, after 5 years, they went to the husband, like, I want a new one now. So, okay, what do we do this? Higher, let's sell this one. So now, if there is appreciation, let's say, for example, hypothetically, if they bought it at a very cheap price, and now, when they sell it, they are receiving much more. So that difference, when they sell it, is liable for khums if that money remains until the end of their khums date. But throughout the years, even if the appreciation was happening, no khums on it, because they didn't buy the fridge and the freezer and all for trade. They bought it for their personal use. So at the end, when they sell it, the profit that they make of the selling, if it lasts till the end of the year, then they have to pay khums on it. Another example, somebody, okay, I'm staying in a house, I own this house. I say, okay, you know what, I want to move to a bigger house. So he sells this house, okay, and now he's looking for a new house with that money, and his khums date comes. So what does he do? Again, the issue is that originally he bought the house with whatever money. It was his house, he was living in there, so it's fine. There was no khums on the house. Now that he sold the house, he'll say, okay, how much did I buy the house for? I bought the house 20 years ago for like, I don't know, let's say 5 million. Today now, it's become 20 million. So he sold the house, and now technically the appreciation is, let's say, 15 million. So this 15 million, if it's not used until his khums date, then he has to pay khums on it. So the example that I'm giving is that he sold the house, and before he can use that money to buy a new house, his khums date comes. So here I will say, okay, sorry, tough luck. You should have just waited a few weeks before selling that house. But now you receive this money, and so that difference, that appreciation that happened, that difference is liable for khums. You didn't use it to buy a new house before your khums date, so today is your khums date. You have to pay on that difference. Last example, a lady was gifted jewelry by her husband, which she used for several years and then decided to sell it. So the first year of the marriage, let's say she got many gifts, like husband gave, in-laws gave, in the wedding they receive all this jewelry. Now, as I said, this was the third type, where it's a gift. So jewelry is the kind of thing that she was wearing at home. So she wore it, she used it, so there was no khums on it. Now, after like 10, 20 years, times are tough and she wants to sell it, or she wants to get a new model, whatever. And she said, okay, I'm going to sell it. So here, like I said, for gifts, appreciation, there is no khums. Even when you sell, there's no khums. So this lady, she sold her jewelry for a higher price. It's okay. That money, even if it lasts for 10 years, you keep it in your bank account, no khums on it. So that is the case for somebody who was gifted jewelry. And I said similarly, let's say if that jewelry was her mahar as well, same thing applies. But if her mahar was money, not jewelry, so she had said, okay, my mahar is this much amount of money, the husband gave her money. Now with that money, she went and she bought a jewelry. Now this ruling doesn't apply. Now it goes under number 2, that this jewelry, you got it through buying and selling. Sure, the original money was from mahar, for example, yeah, but now you bought jewelry with it, okay. There is no khums on the original price of the jewelry, but once you sell it, the profit that you make, if it lasts till your khums date, then you would be forced to pay khums on that. So that is the discussion on appreciation. The last thing that, second last thing to discuss actually before we move to expenses is there are some other incomes that are liable for khums that most of them actually are for men who are working. If women are not working, this is not going to be liable for you. First thing is, okay, government subsidies or aids. So if you live in a place, for example, that the government every month they give you some kind of grant. Like in the West, for example, they give children, they give old people. So whatever it is, government is giving you subsidies and aid for whatever reason. This is considered as a gift in terms of hukum. Okay, it's a gift, so it's coming to you. But remember what I said about gifts. If the government is paying it into your bank account, so let's say you're over 60 and the government is every month, they are giving you these gifts, aids. It's counted as a gift. But because they are transferring to your bank account, khums would not be applicable upon it until you actually withdraw it. So if it stays in your bank account for even 10 years, there is no khums on it. But if they were to give you cash, for example, then yes, okay, that cash, if it's there until your khums date, you've not used it, you pay khums on it. So that's on government subsidies and aid. Second one, insurance payouts. So when we were discussing money that's exempt from khums, we said that, okay, diyat, for example, khums is exempt. Or if somebody harms your property, let's say they destroy your car, for example, then they have to pay you back to fix the car, then that money is not liable for khums. And we said, okay, if instead of them, their insurance company is paying you also, no khums is wajib upon that. But now, what about these other insurance payouts? That's not diyat or compensation for wealth. So there's a huge fiqh discussion about the reality of insurance transactions, what is it, and without getting into the technicalities. Basically, what happens in insurance, you go to the insurance company and you are basically making a deal with them. You're saying, I will pay you X amount of money every year or every month or whatever the deal is. In return, when X or Y or Z happens, then you pay me this much amount. That's basically what happens. So you tell them, I'll pay you every month, for example, and then if, for example, my car gets stolen, for example, then you pay me. Or my house gets burned down, then you pay me. So all these kinds of different insurances that they have. That's the general idea of what insurance is. You're telling them, okay, I'm paying you monthly or yearly, and then when this happens, then you pay me X amount of money. So that, first of all, that money that I'm paying every month or every year, the insurance premium, that obviously is not subject to khums because it's a legal expense, which is going to be our next discussion about what expenses we can use our money on. If it's a halal thing, like, okay, yeah, so no khums on that money. Every year I'm paying them, car insurance, house insurance, life insurance, whatever. That one is gone. There is no khums on it. The question is, okay, insurance payout. When whatever thing happens, let's say, for example, I had insurance, for example, on my house, for example. I insured my house and lightning happened, for example, or natural disaster happened, my house got destroyed. I'm specifically saying this because that if somebody else, for example, came and destroyed my property, they would have to pay me, or if their insurance pays me, we said there's no khums on that. Here it's a natural disaster. No one is liable. I can't point a finger at someone and say, hey, you destroyed my house. It's a natural disaster, for example, okay? Or even like normal accident in the house, like, I don't know, electrocution happened, the house burned down, okay. The insurance company says, okay, we had a deal, you are paying us every year, here's the insurance payout. Point is, yes, it is liable for homes, that insurance payout, but it's treated the same as a gift. So like we said for the government subsidies, if the insurance company says, okay, your house got destroyed, we are paying you 2 million into your bank account, okay, so now as long as it's in my bank account, no homes on it. If I withdraw from my account, then now I'll say, okay, now I'm the owner of this like 2 million. If it lasts until my homes date, then I would have to pay homes on it. But if it stays in my bank account and every month, for example, I'm just removing a little and using it, I'm being very smart, it's like, okay, fine, then whatever remains in the bank account, there is no homes on it. Life insurance. So life insurance, I'm paying the company, I'm saying every year, every month, I'll pay you this much on the condition that, okay, tomorrow when I die, you give my wife, my children, or whoever, X amount of money. Life insurance payouts, also the same thing. It's not treated like inheritance. So the insurance company, when they pay, for example, let's say my wife or my children, that money, they will not say, okay, this is like inheritance, so now we have to like split it the way inheritance is split. 1/6 goes to mom and dad, and then 1/8 goes to the wife. No, it's not inheritance. That's a new income for them. Again, if it goes into their bank account, as long as they don't withdraw, no homes on it. If they withdraw, then if it lasts until their homes date, they would pay homes on it. And that's why I said today that this bank account thing is going to be very helpful over here. Another one is homes on monthly allowances. So say I am working in a company. My company, I have a deal with them. Okay, your salary is 100,000. But we give you extra allowances. So in Arabic, they call it badalat. Ratib is your wages, and then badalat is like your extra allowances they give you. So they say, okay, we're giving you every month, I don't know, 10,000 for fuel, 5,000 for expressway, 20,000 for your lunch, whatever. So these are all extra allowances that they give you. Is khums wajib upon this money? Yes. But Atlastani says allowances, same as gifts. So if they are transferring to your bank account and they're saying, for example, okay, this 100,000 is your wages, okay, your salary. Remember that we said that even if you don't get it in your hand, it goes in the bank account, that you have to pay. So wages, we said this doesn't apply to it. Gifts, we said if it comes into your bank account, you don't withdraw it, khums is not applicable upon it. So monthly allowances, they are giving me for fuel, for food, for rent, whatever your company is giving you allowances, khums is not applicable until and unless you actually withdraw that money, and then it lasts with you until your khums dates. There is going to be, I know, a question that's going to come. It's like, okay, let's say, to make things simple, my bank account is 0, okay? So I start working, and the company says that, okay, your salary is 100,000, and 20,000 is your allowance for fuel or food or whatever, extra. It's not your salary. So now, okay, they sent it all into my bank account, 120,000. Now, when I, for example, withdraw money, now is this money coming from that salary 100,000, or is it coming from that 20,000? Because if I say that, it's coming from that 100,000, so now that 20,000 is still there in my account, there's no khums on it. But if it's coming out from that 20,000, then now this money is mine. If it lasts until my khums date, I'll have to pay khums on it. So how do we know that, okay, this money that I'm withdrawing, let's say from the ATM or the bank, it's from my wages or it's from the gifts, all these that I mentioned, all gifts? Answer is, it depends on your intention. When you are withdrawing the money, what were you intending? Did I intend that, okay, this money is my salary that I'm removing, or this money is, for example, insurance payout, government subsidies, monthly allowance, all these other things? Somebody says, okay, so if it depends on your intention, fine. What if I didn't make any intention? I just went to ATM, I just withdrew, which is mostly the case of people who don't know the ahkam. They don't say, I'm removing, this is my salary money, or this is my gift money. No, they just remove. So what if I did make any intention? Then over here we'll say that it will depend proportion-wise. In your account, we gave a simple example. 100,000 was your salary, and 20,000 was your gift money, for example, allowances. So now that proportion that you remove, let's say I removed, for example, 1,000, then you do the maths. You say, okay, what proportion of this 1,000 is coming from gifts and what proportion is coming from salary. So let me give an easy example. Say, for example, okay, somebody says, okay, 200,000 is your salary, 100,000 is your monthly allowances, for example. So my bank account has 300,000 with the proportion of 2 out of 3 is my salary, 1 out of 3 is these gifts. So I didn't make an intention when I'm withdrawing, and I'm saying, okay, now I have this money. Okay, I don't know, is it from here or there? I didn't make that intention when I'm withdrawing. So okay, this money that you've withdrawn, for example, we'll say, let's say you removed, let's say 1,000. Let's say out of this 1,000, 2/3 consider it as your money from your salary. 1/3 consider it money from the gifts that you had. Another question people will come and ask, yeah, that's a very simple example. But now my whole bank account is all mixed up. Everything comes in and out, and now I'm so confused. Anything you're confused, please go to the wakil, and now the wakil will tell you, okay, that this money that you have in your hand, let's come to a settlement to see whether this money is for your salary or for your gift. How he does that, the settlement process, a bit more complicated, so we'll just let him do it. Point is, okay, if you don't know, go to a wakil. Another thing is pension payouts. So pension is very highly debated, and if you go online, you check, you might even see different answers to what I'm telling you right now. The reason is that there's a lot of confusion about what exactly is a pension and how exactly does this whole pension system work. So not to confuse you, what seems to be the most prevalent system in a pension payout is what's happening is they call it a hiba mashruta, a conditioned gift. So what's happening is that every month they are taking from your salary, let's say for example a specific percent, they're saying, okay, every month, your company says, every month we'll take a specific cut from your salary and we'll keep it on the side for you. Then we will add something, we'll match it, and then, for example, whatever their policy is, whenever you retire or at the age of 60 or whenever, then we'll give you that whole lump sum money at that point. And now there's variations between companies, yeah? Some companies, it's voluntary, yeah? You choose whether you want to chip in or not. Some companies say, no, it doesn't matter whether you want to or not, we will take, and then when you retire, we'll give you, for example. Some companies, they say, for example, okay, this money every month is building up, you can't touch it, for example, okay? Only when you retire or when you're 60, then you can access it. Some companies will say, no, you take it whenever you want. Some companies will say that, no, you can't take this, but if you want this money, we'll give you as a loan. So you take it as a loan and then you give it back to us. So there's different variations in companies. Overall, general point is that it doesn't matter because the reality is that it's not the case that my salary, for example, is still with them. No, most of the scholars seem to say that actually this is a gift that I'm giving the company with the intention that I'm giving you this gift on the condition that at the age of 60 or retirement or whenever, you gift me X amount. So point is, it becomes same as a gift. So now I'm retired, I'm 60 or whatever, and they give me that whole lump sum. Same case as a gift now. If they transfer me to my bank account, no khums on it as long as it stays over there. Once I withdraw, then it's now my money. If it stays until my khums date, then khums will be wajib upon it. So that's khums on pension. Another one, khums on company bonus. So company bonus is basically that the company says that, okay, it's Christmas, we are giving a bonus. I'm sure you'll all guess, it's same as a gift. The point is that they're not saying that this is part of your salary, for example. It's something extra. It's Eid, we're giving you a bonus. It's Christmas, we're giving you a bonus. Whatever, okay, same as gift. If it comes into your bank account, no khums on it. The last one, which is different, is khums on commission. Commission basically means that you are working for this company and the company has made a rule. So they say, for example, let's say I work for an optician, for example. I sell glasses. So the boss has said, okay, your salary, it's fine, 100,000 per month. But for every pair of glasses that you sell, 2% commission is yours. Or anything like that. So the point is that commission is basically what in fiqh is known as ju'ala. I don't know what ju'ala they translate into English, but it's there in Islamic laws, it's a whole chapter. Ju'ala basically means where somebody comes forth and he says, whoever does X action, I will give them Y reward. That's basically what it is. So I'll say, for example, okay, oh, I've lost my phone in Nairobi Mosque. They are coming around. Whoever finds my phone, I'll give them 2,000 shillings as a compensation or as a gift, whatever. So this is called ju'ala. In commissions, is exactly what's happening, same in commission. In commission, basically the boss is saying, every time you sell X, for example, we'll give you 2%. Or every time you bring a new customer, we'll give you 3%. Whatever the case is, point is, Khums on commission, here commission is not the same as gifts. Commission is considered the same as your wages. Meaning that even if he puts it into my bank account, as long as I've not used the money, I still have to pay Khums on it. So for example, okay, my salary came 100,000 and my commission for the month is, let's say, 10,000 shillings. So now I have 110,000 shillings in my bank. Let's say my Khums date is tomorrow. I have not used that. So here I have to pay Khums on this 110. So basically, out of these 6, only the last one is considered the same as wages. Everything else, the point is that it's easy way out. It's like a gift. So when it comes into your bank account, you don't have to pay Khums then, according to Atlas Sistani only. The next part, so there's a lot of discussion about Khums on people with loans and debts. Now this discussion is in 2 parts. The second part is where most of the people have questions, which is we're not touching today. The first part is basically, when you look at debts or loans, there's 2 things. One is what I owe people. That's where all the questions are. That I owe Africa Federation student loans. I owe this guy for my house loan. That's will come later on. That's not what we're discussing. The second part is what people owe me. So there are people who owe me money. For example, I gave a loan to my brother. Okay, he owes me money. I have a property that I've put on rent. The rent date has come. And this guy has not paid me. Okay, he owes me rent. Okay, these things people owe me. Or for example, I'm a businessman. I've sold things on credit. Meaning I've told the person here, I've sold you this item. You pay me after a month or whatever my policy is. So here, items sold on credit. These are all debts. People owe me this kind of money. Or for example, wages that haven't yet been paid. I think I mentioned this before as well. That so every day that I'm working, my salary, it's not that actually I deserve the salary at the end of the month. No, technically speaking, from a fiqh perspective, every day I work, I deserve money that day for my work. So for example, okay, hypothetically, if I'm working 30 days in a month, and I'm getting, let's say, $3,000 as salary, so every day I work, I'm getting $100. So day 1 I've worked, I come home, now this company owes me $100. Day 2, they owe me 200. Day 3, 300. And I think that's pretty obvious, yeah? Because like in the middle of the month, if they fire you, they won't say, oh, we're not giving you anything. No, they'll say, okay, you worked 15 days, I take your 15 days. So wages that haven't been paid. So let's say in the middle of the month, 15 days have gone, I've not yet received my salary, obviously, because that's going to come at the end of the month. But these 15 days I've worked, they owe me the money for 15 days. So the question is, on my Khums date, all these debts that people owe me, remember we're talking about incomes that are liable for Khums. So here we have money that people owe me. Do I calculate that in my Khums or no? Or do I say no? When I get the money, okay, then I'll see if it lasts until my Khums date or no. What is the point of the discussion is Khums on money that people owe me. So here there are 2 possible scenarios. Number 1, it is possible for me to acquire this money on my Khums date, regardless of whether I actually do so. So come my Khums date, okay, all these people owe me money. I ask myself, is it possible for me to go to them and they'll give me the money? So for example, this tenant owes me money. If today's my Khums date, if I would go to him and I say, hey, give me my rent, will he give me or no? Is it possible for me to get that money? If it's possible for me to get that money, then okay, I have to pay Khums on it. The idea is that basically, this is the same as having the money in your pocket. The idea is that debts that you know that today is my Khums date, I can go and collect it. It's as equal to having the money in my pocket. It's basically what it is. And so therefore, I would have to pay Khums on it. But if I'm like, for example, let's say I'm a businessman, I've sold some goods on credit. My Khums date comes, this guy, for example, he owes me, let's say, 100,000 shillings. I know if I go to him, he'll say, no, we had a deal, I'll pay you after 45 days. So okay, this person, the first one doesn't apply to him. So the point is, okay, is it possible for me to acquire this money on my Khums date, regardless of whether I actually go and do it? Is it possible to get it or not? Yes, it's possible for me, you pay Khums on it. If it's not possible for me to acquire this money on my Khums date, it's like, okay, the guy will say, no, we had a deal, I'll pay you at the end of the month. Or I know this person, he can't afford to pay back the loan, I'll go to him, my brother, I gave him a loan, he'll say, oh, I don't have money right now. So this person says, okay, on my Khums date, this money, I cannot acquire it right now. So for such a person, we would say, true, on your Khums date, Khums is wajib on that money. Debts that people owe you, Khums is wajib upon it. But because you can't access this money right now, meaning those people do not pay you right now, then you are allowed to delay payment of your Khums until you actually receive the money. And so the day that I actually receive it, immediately I have to pay Khums. Not that I wait until my Khums date. So for example, okay, I have a property for investment. Every month I'm collecting rent. So now it's my Khums date, and I know, okay, this person is going to say, no, we had a deal. I pay you on 3rd of every month. So he's not going to pay me right now. It's like, okay, fine. 3rd of the month comes. As soon as he gives me the rent, immediately I have to pay the Khums on it. Because on my Khums date, the Khums was already wajib on that money. And so technically I should have paid at that time. But the Sharia says, okay, you can't access it right now, fine. Don't pay on it right now. When you get it, then you pay it. Alternatively, if you want, you can be like, okay, you know what? He owes me this money right now. He can't pay me right now. He'll pay me later. But it's going to be so hard to calculate that, okay, when I get it, then I have to pay Khums. So fine, I'll just pay from now. Okay, you can do that as well. You have extra money to pay. It's fine. You pay it right now. Then when he gives it to you, then you don't pay Khums then. So if you want, you can even pay Khums technically like in advance right now. Or if you don't want, then you wait. When he gives you, then you pay it then. This is the last point. Now, technically speaking, if you open the Tawdi al-Masail, so At-Lastani says that for this second one, there's 2 options you can do. The second one is slightly more confusing. That's why I have not really brought it. And it's basically, it's a whole discussion about valuing the amount of the debt right now. And because it's going to confuse people, so I've not brought it. So the easiest thing is, okay, fine, don't pay right now. When you get it, then you pay immediately. So just this last thing before I open up for questions, because then after this, from next time we'll discuss expenses, is that, okay, so we said these are all monies that you're getting, Khums is liable. Last one is on advance payments or incomes. So there are 2 types of advance incomes that one can receive. Number one is for personal work. So say, for example, I go to my boss and I say, please give me advance salary. Definition of advance salary is that I have not yet done the work for that money, and he says, okay, we'll give you advance. For advance salaries, there is no Khums wajib upon that amount until I do the work, and then when I do the work, now that money is mine, then I can wait until my next Khums date. So say, for example, let's say I am like let's say a handyman, for example. Somebody calls me to the house like, oh, can you fix, for example, okay, this leaking pipe? I say, okay, I'm going to charge you 5,000 shillings, but you give me in advance. So say, hi, okay. So they give me 5,000, and okay, right now I'm busy. I'll come after a week to do this job. Then within the week, okay, my Khums date comes. So this money, 5,000, Khums is not wajib upon. I don't have to pay Khums on this right now because I've not done the work for this money. Now, so I don't pay Khums on this. I pay my other Khums, whatever is necessary. Then my Khums date goes, I do the work. Now that I've done the work, now I really fully own this money. But now I'm allowed to not pay Khums on it right now. I'll wait until my next Khums date. So basically, this becomes like a new income after my Khums date. When I do the work, that's when I'll say, okay, now you've earned this money. Use it the whole year if you want. If it remains, then you pay on your next Khums date. So Khums on advance salary, there's no Khums. But for rent of a property, Khums is wajib. Meaning what? Say, for example, okay, I have a property for investment, okay, every month I'm receiving rent. This tenant comes and he says, you know what, I want to pay rent for the whole of the year. Instead of every month, I'm paying you advance for the whole year. Here, Khums is wajib. So let's say, for example, my Khums date is 1st of February, for example. This person moves in 1st January and he says that, okay, I'm paying you for the whole year in one go. Here, lump sum amount. Okay, fine, I got the money. If I've not used it until my Khums date, fine, I have to pay khums on it. But the reason why somebody might question is like, okay, but this rent is now for future incomes, it's for future months. No, for the case of rent, khums, if you receive advance rent, you have to pay khums on it. The only benefit that you have is that you can minus the loss in the value of the property due to its unavailability for use during the rental period. So what do I mean? So I own this house, yeah, so I'm receiving rent from it. This new tenant comes in. The value of an apartment that has somebody staying in it is different to the value of an apartment that's empty. So say, for example, when it's not rented, means it's empty, let's say it's 30,000 dinars. So this is, for example, one of the istiftaat. He said, okay, the market value of the house, for example, when it's not rented is 30,000 dinars. But, for example, if I've rented the house, let's say I've made a contract, I've rented it for the next 5 years. So here, within that 5 years, if somebody were to come and say, hey, I want to buy this apartment, the value of that house is going to be less than 30,000 because I've already rented it for 5 years. So even if he buys the house, he can't do anything for 5 years. He just has to wait. So automatically, the value of the house is going to come down. So here we say the utility of the house is restricted because I put it on rent for 5 years. The person who buys the house from me, he won't be able to use it for 5 years. So say, for example, that house, without somebody renting it, it's 30,000. But now somebody has rented it, for example, and now they've paid me in advance. They say, for example, okay, 5 years rent, I'm giving you in front over here right now, 5 years. So we said, okay, this advance rent, you have to pay khums on it. But what you can do is this, you can minus the difference of the value of the house. Remember, we said the house, if there was no one renting it, it was 30,000. But now this guy is staying for 5 years and we've made a deal, the house has come down to 28,000, for example, dinars. So this 2,000, that is loss in the value of the house, I can minus that and say, okay, he paid me 5 years rent, minus this 2,000, the rest is then what is liable for khums. So this sums up the whole discussion about incomes and money that is liable for khums. And then inshallah, from the next session, we'll start discussing about expenses that I'm allowed to use my money on and the details of those expenses. So if there are any questions now, we can take questions.
Assalamu alaikum. I have two questions.
Yeah.
About the gift that is sitting in the bank.
Yeah.
Khums is not applicable.
Yeah.
What if you transfer that money from one bank account to another?
Yeah, still.
Still not.
Still.
Number two is about if it's a life insurance with an endowment payment at the end of it. So, for example, you're paying premium every month for the next 20 years. And your life is covered at the same time. At the end of the tenure of the insurance cover, there is a payout. We don't know how much it will be, but there is a payout. Yeah. How would you handle the premium and the payout in terms of khums?
So that amount that you're paying every year, that's fine. There's no khums on that. It's a legal expense of yours. In fact, when we discuss the expenses, we'll say one of the conditions for a halal expense is that, okay, if it's within your status. So insurance nowadays, like, it's within everyone, it's expected that everyone will have this insurance. So that's why I'm saying, like, okay, fine, the money you pay for insurance every year, that's fine. The endowment that you received at the end, same, it's a gift for you, okay, stays in your bank account, you don't pay khums on it. If you remove it, you pay khums on it. Then when you die, okay, then the money that your people after you receive, that life insurance payout, same thing. It's also a gift for them. It's not treated as like your inheritance. Same thing. It stays in the account. You don't have to pay khums on it.
Yeah. Okay. Last question is about if it's a private pension fund. So you don't have a pension with your employer, but you sign up for a private pension.
Yeah.
And in that that is voluntary in some ways.
Yeah.
How do you treat that?
Yeah. Same principle applies. the reason why there's so much like confusion about it is because if you read the actual ruling, it says that, okay, if your pension works like this is the ruling. The more complicated thing is that they're saying that in reality is a pension such that they are taking your monthly salary as a loan, for example, and then later on they give you that. If that's the case, then that's more complicated, which I don't think like that is the case, so that's why I didn't even mention that. But the general case that, okay, if it's considered that, okay, I pay them every month, even if it's private, even if it's government, it doesn't matter. I pay them every month. It's not like, okay, a part of my salary, for example, they're keeping part of my salary with them, and then that salary now is going to come back to me later. No, it's okay, they're given that money, they'll use it, they'll do whatever they want, but when time comes, then they have to gift me whatever amount we had stipulated. So again, same thing, same as gift. When they give you, it's like gift. Yes?
Okay, is it okay to receive rent every month and you take out Khums and bank the rest, or do you have to wait for 1 year?
Like I have an investment property, so somebody is paying me rent every month.
You receive the rent,
yeah,
and then you take out Khums and you bank the remaining.
If you want to, yeah, you can. But there's no need. So basically you're saying I'm paying Khums early now. I'm not going to wait until my Khums date. As soon as I get the money, I'm paying Khums immediately. Yeah, if you want, you can do that. Yeah. The whole thing about the whole bank account, I emphasize, it's not applying to money that I go and deposit in the bank and say, okay, now no Khums. No. This is money specifically that came direct into my bank account. I didn't go and deposit it, or it's not like a check where I cashed it in. So bank transfer, I mean specifically, it came straight into my bank account. I did not withdraw or touch it at any point. Yeah. Any other questions? No, so I think we can finish it for today. وصلى الله على محمد وآله الطاهرين.